Hello, people. Welcome to the Working Foundational Infrastructure Working Group meeting. Yeah, let's go. I see Ben's here. You have probably something about syslog or something. Shall we maybe start with that? Or is it something else?
It's about repo permissions and stuff.
Yeah. It's about the was it the something Bosch system?
So there's 4 repositories that we have that I've been managing for a while, and 3 of them are Bosch System Metrics Forwarder, syslog release, and Windows syslog release. And what I think has happened there is the poll permissions are in a place where we can't make pull requests or bumps with bots anymore. So we have some nice tooling to make sure that we can cut patch releases and minor releases and major releases and such. It reduces some tedium and keep some of the things, make sure that we always include like a tarball and with our releases and so on.
Okay. I think that's branch protection probably.
That's branch protection wise. And then the other one is Bosch System Metrics Server, which I think might be interesting to get moved to the system logging and metrics. But
is that part of System Metrics release, or is that something else?
I think some of these are in kind of a weird place. It's part of Bosch System Metrics release. So the other part of it is Bosch System Metrics Forwarder, which is right now in the app working group.
Oh, wow. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so you rather have all these things consolidated, those 2 repos consolidated. Yeah, so I would create just one PR if I were you, to get that proposed to the TOC, and the other thing, the branch protection rules, I can help with, but maybe don't do it. I mean, we could do it now, but I don't know if that's the best time or useful time.
Fair.
Maybe we can have a separate meeting where we just go over together, iterate till it works, because I can make those changes, or I could give you temporary access to do it. But I mean, like, we can catch up after that offline.
Okay.
Or like, yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. While we have you here, do you want to talk about the things in your inbox?
Oh yeah, I haven't. Let's see. I've seen all of these things. I've looked into the issue number 13, but I haven't found time to. I just recently realized it existed as an issue. I've looked into it. I think it's probably something with framing, but I haven't pursued it too much. I've been pretty busy with some other stuff.
That's totally fine.
I think we've looked at using IM file instead of black box for some things at some point in the past, but it's something that IM file at the time wasn't able to really do to a level that we wanted it to. I think to some degree now that Windows syslog exists, which it didn't before we started looking at IM file a few years ago. It's a lot easier to say, well, we're already using this piece of software, like why not keep it, right? Whereas in the past it was like, oh, we can get rid of the software if we didn't need black box, it would be nice to use IM file, but we already need black box, so it's now kind of a sunk cost to get rid of.
Yeah.
As far as the others, I think it probably makes sense. I just haven't pursued it too much.
Yeah. Okay. I think these are these are issues, not PRs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think in the Bosch one, we have an additional filter to only have pull requests here. it says pull requests here, but it's actually issues.
Makes
That's why I
sense.
was confused. It doesn't make sense, but that's what confused me. But yeah, okay. So there's no PRs to actually review. It's mostly just people with issues, and I mean, just go over them if you have time. We're doing that. This basically is the 13 is then basically under discussion, right? It's being discussed. It's not in inbox state anymore. Have the like discussion column, and we have the open for contribution or prioritized, and we basically, these labels have a double meaning depending on if it's a PR or an issue. We can only have like one priority field. This one,
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just trying to get there. I think we could actually hypothetically move that one to, I guess, what does waiting for changes mean?
So waiting for changes is if it's a pull request. So then you would like request changes. So you have reviewed it and you're basically waiting for them to make a change. And if it's an issue, then you look at the right side of this thing. So it would be open for contribution. That's how we dip. So basically it's like, yeah, this seems like a thing, but we probably don't have time to look at it now. So feel free to make a PR, right? Because if there's a PR, we are actually, we have to review it, right? As a working group. That's the idea behind the working group. So yeah, I mean, like if you don't have time to or don't want to prioritize it, like if it's not going to end up in your backlog, then you should probably make it open for contributions.
Yeah, it's probably open, definitely open for contributions, I would say. I think it's something I might end up prioritizing at some point, but
yeah. But in the meantime, it's open for contribution, right? Like maybe maybe you can respond on that thing saying like, we currently don't have time to get this prioritized, but we are always happy to review PR or something. That's typically what I would do. Oh, what's this? Or was this actually the one we were talking about? No, we were talking about 13, right? This is okay. This was the other one. This was the sunken cost thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is basically we're not gonna do it unless there's a PR, I guess. Oh, it's already there still.
Yeah, I'm not inclined to do it at this point, but yeah.
It's actually,
I think there might be reasons to use IM file, but
we are really fortunate. We have the person that raised this issue in the call as well, right? Carson, you raised this one, right?
Yeah, I raised it because of a discussion where I was asking why are we using black box and why can't our syslog do this file watching? It turns out even with the updates to wildcard IAM file inputs, it's still not a possibility. It doesn't allow wildcarding folders. It doesn't require it doesn't allow wildcarding to the extent that we would need to replace Blackbox. So but I decided to keep it around because I thought that in the future we might, if they implemented it, we might want to replace Blackbox. It sounds like based on the discussion just now, folks are sort of in favor of keeping Blackbox around. I'm fine with that. We can remove it if we, or close it if
yeah, we can always reopen it, right, if it becomes relevant. It sounds like there's nothing actionable, so it basically just keeps sitting here.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just gonna close it. Okay. another one. Carson, do you care to can
Yeah.
you elaborate on this one? Or give
I
some
think
context?
this one is should be kept around. There
Mhm.
was syslog release. It's not high priority. It's definitely an open for contribution one. However, there is this personal syslog package hanging out in syslog release. It's only used in tests, which is why it's not high priority.
That makes sense.
But it would be nice to rip out that personal syslog package from someone who used to be a contributor, and replace it with the currently maintained syslog package from the ARP side.
That makes sense. Oh. This
That's
is a
just a
draft.
draft. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in reviewing this right now. That one we need. There's some linting errors because some of the properties that are used from GoPS util became deprecated in between 322.5 and 322.9.
Okay.
There's a couple
What
things to
I
investigate.
typically do is just add draft files and get rid of all the bots, because those things typically don't make sense to actually review, because
Yeah.
typically those things would be discussed, or you already have them in your backlog probably, right?
Sure.
Well, oh wait, why is it now empty? That doesn't make sense. Draft files, is that the problem?
The draft.
I guess issues can't be in a draft state, right?
Ah, that's the problem. Yes. Ah, and that's why we don't have PRs, or why we don't have issues here.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, this is fine. We leave it like this.
Hmm.
Okay. Then if there's nothing else about syslog, let's continue with looking at the Bosch stuff.
Yeah, I just commented. Jamie's currently on vacation. I guess he will take care soon after he's back.
Okay. 3 minutes
Yeah.
ago. Yep. That's okay. Yeah, this one. Brian Connie did some, oh wow, and then there was a lot of changes. Okay. This now needs a re-review, I think, from Brian Cunning is still looking at it. And Aram actually made the changes. Yeah, it was Aram who made the changes. I will follow up with Aram. I will just do this and I'll see what things this can be finally merged. Has been stuck there for a while. Wow. So basically, I think we are at the stage where Brian Cunny approves of it. I'll ask Brian. Feels like we can almost merge this 3-line change. Oh, we're gonna bump to 1.19. Yeah, that's the PR that you talked about, right?
Mhm.
Hello.
Hello. So let's assign some reviewers. Approvers, reviewers. Let's get the first. No. Oh, I haven't set up those rules. It's fine. Yeah, no, it just needs to be reviewed. That will, but we will look at it. I don't know. I will chase these people to actually Benjamin hasn't reviewed in a while, so I don't know if he's actually gonna do it. So that should take care of that. So that's now pending a review. Is that now? Why is this showing up here? Is that now in our working group? Was it transferred? I think that was actually transferred. Let's see. Oh, it's still there. Okay. So that's pending review. That's that. Last time we went over issues. Doesn't seem right. Yes, this one. This is something that was probably found at SAP, right?
Could be.
It's Ramon who reported this, so
Yeah.
No, someone found out that the Swisswalk actually is. I think it was in the networking team, or Johan found out. That.
Yeah, the CFD-CI started to fail with an experimental ops file that was trying to like implement IP table logging on Jammy. And after Johan started a conversation with networking and Bosch folks, the cause of the error ended up being that the rsyslog service does not seem to start for some reason, which is not that big of a deal if you're using syslog release, because that runs restart syslog. But if you're not applying syslog release, then your rsyslog will not start on AWS only.
How many people are actually using it without using the rsyslog release?
Unclear. This was only seen in CFTCI because we happen to use an AWS environment for running our experimental fan out. By experimental, I mean applying all of the experimental ops files. No customer has reported this yet, but we also haven't shipped Jammy as a GA yet in CFTCI.
Yeah, I talked with Ramon today. He seems to be on it to work on it. So he's already assigned. I'll just put this on probably prioritized.
There is a question from the ARD working group of whether we feel how we feel about ignoring that failure in order to publish a CFD release on Jammy that we could potentially fast follow with a fix.
Yeah, or would it be an option to just add the our syslog release to that specific ops file?
I mean, we could do that too. I think that has to that specific ops file.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe it's just a dependency of that thing. I don't know.
That's a good question. I can look into that. If it isn't, though, for whatever reason, does this feel serious enough to delay us cutting a CFD release?
From the discussions I remember we had on the Bosch side at VMware, I don't feel like it's being prioritized at like a really block. It's not considered a blocking from the Bosch
Cool.
side of things.
Okay.
So. Oh yeah, this one. No. Wait, 14 hours. We have another person reporting this. Is this different? No, so yeah, so they're how did they come to this conclusion? We've seen this before, but that was on a really old stem cell.
Yes, yeah, this seems to be different. It's when the CPIs get downloaded or not. Perform get requests for the CPI. OpenStack CPI release version 44. So the download of the OpenStack CPI release fails.
Yeah, with the TLS handshake failure. Oh, you mean the other ones worked?
I'm not sure whether they execute from a stem cell. This started with it.
This is like a Bosch create env.
Yes, this is
makes
what.
Sense.
Yeah. And
yeah, and the BPM and Bosch OpenStack CPI just worked.
Yeah. Maybe we can ask. Well, maybe we can just ask whether this was just a short issue and then afterward it worked, because he's talking about at that time of the Bosch Let's Encrypt certificate was being renewed.
Yeah, the assumption here is that the certificate was still valid here, and then while it started this download, it expired, and then before he executed this, it was renewed.
Something like this seems to be the assumption. Yeah.
So in that case, we might need to look into if we can start renewing these certificates a bit closer, or like a bit before they actually expire.
Not before 4th of October, not after.
I mean, like that's the assumption here, right? That there's
Yeah.
like this really brief time period where, but I mean, like that's really unlikely to happen. Yeah, I will the best course of action here.
Maybe we can ask whether our assumption is right. What is
Yeah.
was the point I wanted to make. It's not quite clear from the description that our assumption is
Right, that's the assumption that
Mhm.
the previous that there was like a gap between the two certificates.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was late, but I need to leave for another meeting.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Today is-
one thing. Do you have any feedback on the Nets thing? Or is that still this investigation still going on? The Nets 2.0 stuff.
Maybe Matthias knows more. I just
The
heard,
investigation is still ongoing. We still have to test it.
As in, it's currently running and you're having issues and you're looking into it, or you haven't deployed it yet?
We had deployed on our in staging environment, but found some issues and currently investigating on the new release on dev.
Would love to get feedback on that.
We will provide as soon as possible.
Thank you. This is basically in discussion stage. As well. Open for contribution. That's a lot of research already. It's nice. What's the impact? This is it's for when you have more than one managed identity. Is that like a use case? So can you even set more than one managed identity? There's a default managed identity. There. Yeah, something. Is this like a feature request or a bug? That's basically the question. And another one is open for contribution. Yeah, that's interesting. So steps to reproduce, just create 600 VMs. Yeah. Seems easy. Um, this So it sounds like they're doing a bunch of stuff in parallel on a cluster in vSphere. So on one side, they're creating a lot of ports and things, and then at the same time, they're trying to do a Bosch deploy. So basically, Bosch gets its state of the world, and then the world changes underneath it. It's not an ideal scenario. But this is really VMware specific, so I don't feel like this should be here. Yeah, I don't feel like this is anything anybody in the community is gonna run into. It's probably better to use internal VMware channels to discuss these things. But this is by design, right? Nobody should be using Vim. Everybody, maybe we should discuss if we can make Emacs the default editor on all the stem cells.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a big feature. We'll teach all those people a lesson. Did Canonical make any changes?
Okay.
This is quite old.
Mm.
Done. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. This has been we're discussing it, I guess, and I mean, unless someone I mean, actually, it's open for contribution. Someone can just make a PR if they are annoyed enough by this. Like, they should make a PR, and then people can have a discussion in the reviews. I mean, it depends on who is gonna review it. If they think it's important enough. I mean, it's a bit of a trade-off, right? You introduce an additional package. But it is useful to be able to added a file sometimes to debug things. Maybe, yeah. Argue both ways. Ideally, we get a fix from Canonical. And time will solve it. Probably what's gonna happen because I don't see anyone prioritizing this too highly. Okay, I think that's it. Is there anything else people want to discuss?
Nothing from my side.
Okay. Thanks all for joining.
Cool.
Thank you.
To the end.
Happy
See you
day.
next week.
Have a
See
nice
ya.
day. See you.
Bye.